And we're live. Welcome, my friends. Welcome. Welcome back to Second Star, a Traveler 2300 role playing experience. We are just getting everybody together. We don't have one of our players right now, but that's okay. I'm fairly confident he's going to be joining us momentarily. I'm also playing with my phone just for a second because I gotta get something set up on here correctly, and my phone was being a bit difficult. All right, there we go. Okay. I think I'm all set up, technically speaking, on my end. All my peripherals and stuff. Where was I? Oh, yeah. This is Second Star, Traveler 2300 role playing experience, episode 3. And in my notes, I've been naming the episodes, but unlike Blood and Glory, I have not been naming the episodes on any live format. But this is episode 3, tentatively titled Ice. For no particular reason. Well, maybe.
What?
Joining me this evening are my three of my four players. Our fourth player, I'm expecting soon. He did indicate that he might be a little bit late based on some family requirements. So we'll see what happens if and when Lee shows up. Lee, if you're watching, you need to get in here, friend. Let's catch ourselves up. It's been 2 weeks since we were last together. So, Charles, what's new and exciting in your neck of the woods for the last couple of weeks?
Um, Nothing really much. I got um, kids dealing with advancements for their hobby stuff. So my oldest just became a full term scout, elevating out of Cub Scouts. So
Oh,
we
nice.
got that happened last week. And other than that, just been work and life, and yeah.
Awesome. Wiggles just muted himself. He must have known he was next. We'll come back to him in a moment. Samerson, catch us up.
Well,
What you been up to the last couple of weeks? What's new and exciting
nothing
for
too
you?
much. Nothing too much different from last time, to be honest with you. Um, Probably going to start getting into the trucking business here soon, though. Try to get a CDL.
Oh, nice.
I'll still be able to, if I actually get it. I'll of course probably be able to still make it to these games and whatnot if we're still going by the time that happens. I don't imagine it should be too complicated to get one of these. Um, but that's aside from that, I'd say everything is pretty normal, pretty average. Honestly, nothing crazy.
Yeah, sounds about right. Well, if and when the CDL is in your hands and you are employed as such, we will make whatever adjustments we need to make, and we'll jump that bridge when it comes up. Although I don't
I'll be
recommend
sure to let
jumping
you
a
guys
bridge
know.
in a semi truck or anything
I
for that
mean,
matter.
I would do it for like $50 or something probably.
This is not surprising to me.
$50 and $50 and maybe like a bottle of rum to go with
Yeah, like $50 and a pack of smokes. I'm in. Let's go.
Okay, Burt Reynolds.
I don't know who that is. I
Oh
don't even know
my
who that is.
god. Oh man, oh my god, the
Twist that
weight of
knife.
the
You don't know who
years
Burt
of my
Reynolds
life
is.
have just crushed me.
Twist
I don't
that
know. I'm
knife.
not a boomer. Like I don't know, man. Shit.
He said, "I don't know who that is." Burt Reynolds, Google it.
Oh, it's media. It's media literacy. Burt Reynolds was a star of stage and screen and TV for decades.
Let's
Yeah.
not be that crazy. Otherwise, I would have heard him. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, he's not. To be fair, I can't recall anything that Burt Reynolds has been in for the last probably 10 or 15 years.
Burt
That doesn't
Reynolds.
necessarily
Yeah,
mean
like
anything, but
He was in. He did Archer, the cartoon series as himself.
did he?
yeah, and
See,
he,
I've
he
never.
played Boss Hog and Dukes of Hazzard for
Oh,
the reboot.
that is hilarious. The one with Jessica Simpson in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah,
my
see,
god.
like I've never even heard of any of these movies he's been in.
Yeah. To be totally fair, Sam, Burt Reynolds is definitely before your time. However, he was definitely a very successful actor. I'll put it like that. In a number
can
of
tell.
different movies. A lot of them are like they'd probably be considered cult classics from probably about the 70s and 80s. Smokey
Yeah.
and the Bandit. What's
Some of them haven't aged well, like Smoking Bandit 2,
Yeah.
where the plot of the movie is to go fuck a minor across state lines.
You know,
Yeah.
I think the only
Deliverance.
film I've seen him in, the only film that I've seen where he was in it is All Dogs Go to Heaven. That's pretty much it.
Oh,
That's
he
pretty
was
much
in
it.
Boogie Nights. That rebooted his career was Boogie Nights as well.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Maybe he's before my time, but I
Oh,
don't know
did
if
he-
that's a good argument because I'm a huge Clint Eastwood fan for like in his movies.
Well,
So, I mean, I don't know.
not for nothing, and I absolutely do not mean to slander anybody here. Clint Eastwood and Burt Reynolds are totally different calibers of actors. Um, not to mention, Clint Eastwood has also been, to my knowledge, has been far more active uh, with movies and TV shows. Not just acting,
True,
but
he
also
has.
directing a lot of different things.
yeah,
He directs movies and acts them. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last movie that Clint Eastwood directed, he happened to have a need to write a scene where he had a threesome with two 20-year-olds. You know, I mean, like, I guess when you can write your own ticket, why not?
Wait, what movie was
Jesus.
that? Hold on, what?
what?
No, all right,
Yeah.
all right. Let's slow
You
down
can't-
here. Let's not get too far out. We're a little bit out there a moment ago. Wiggles. Let's go ahead and bring it over to you. What's new and exciting in your world for the last 2 weeks or so?
I haven't had a television in the past 6 weeks because the cats destroyed it, and we just got a new television.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's very nice. It's the exact same television as before, but you know it works now. It's no longer in plaid.
I'm
Well, that's good.
curious. What did your cats do that destroyed the TV?
I imagine that they probably bit the edge of the screen somewhere. Probably.
No, I'm thinking
No,
they.
we don't know what they did. So we went as a joke. We put on some cat TV. We found some YouTube 10-hour loop of cat TV, right? And we're gonna leave the house for a couple hours, so we weren't sure why not, right?
Okay, that checks
and
out.
then when we came home, the television was flipped over off its stand onto the table, and it got whacked real good, and majority of the screen was gone.
I'm thinking there had to be
So
some
they
sort of.
somehow,
Go ahead.
yeah, somehow they managed to flip the screen, and and it's never happened. We've had the same screen for like I don't know 9 years now, and the same stand for 8 or 9 years now. This has never happened before, so I'm not really sure how they managed to accomplish it.
I'm thinking they ran up into the screen, I would imagine, trying to chase after something they saw on the screen. That's.
I don't know. I mean, like we weren't here, so
Yeah.
it's hard to know. He just came home to a busted television.
Tell them about the irony. Tell them about the irony.
What the irony is, we put cat. The other. Oh yeah, we are. I think that's really irony. I don't think it's irony. Okay, so we still haven't managed to start our previous television because I live in a rural area and I don't have a car, so that's difficult. So I've been trying to figure out how to dispose of it properly. I don't want to just throw it out in the trash because you're not supposed to throw electronics out in the trash. That's irresponsible. So the day of, I saw a waste management guy at the Carl Jr. and I was like, I should ask him how to get rid of my fucking television,
Makes
right?
sense.
Because we have a broken television.
Makes
And I
sense.
decided against it because he was on his lunch break. And I was like, I don't want to bother the guy. He's getting a burger.
Burger.
But now you have two. Now you have two broken televisions outside.
Oof.
So just leave them out in the curb. Right?
You're not supposed to. You're not. You're supposed to. You're supposed to take them to an e-waste facility.
I suppose that makes
Um,
sense that you're supposed to do something like that. I don't know. I would have just tossed it in the big old dumpster outside my apartment complex. That's just
I'm
me.
trying to be a good person. I'm trying to be responsible for them. Yeah,
What-
no. So Mojave has a hazardous waste day one day a month, every other month, but they don't accept televisions larger than 19 inches. I don't know who the fuck has that small of a TV nowadays, but that's their limit. So now I
Might be-
found that.
Go on.
So now I found that they're going to do a Oh shit! What was it called? I wrote this down. It's happening March 18th. Note.
They won't take a TV larger than 19,
Then 19
inches.
inches.
It might be like an outdated rule, maybe.
That's
back
gotta
in,
be
like-
because my computer monitor that I have had for a long fucking time
Bulky
is
Waste
22
Management
inches.
Day. Bulky Waste Management Day on March 18th. So I called Waste Management, which handles all the garbage for Mojave. It's like, hey, can you do curbside pickup? They're like, nah, dog, we can't. We don't service Mojave. And yes, you do. You pick up my trash in Mojave. So guess who's running the Bulky Waste Management Day on March 18th? Waste management.
Yeah, yeah.
Who just told me they don't do stuff. Ugh.
That's all right.
So-
I get a fine if I put has waste or e-waste in my trash cans with a nasty
Really?
note based on from my county.
It's like you are
Wow.
stupid and ugly.
Yeah,
Frowny
basically.
face.
I guess technically the,
Yeah.
the AAA batteries that I've used up on my mouse are, I suppose, fall into one of
Yeah.
those categories, if not two.
Yeah, okay.
Whoops.
So I don't do that with disposable batteries, but you really should. That's just way more pain in the ass. But I do it with laptops and televisions and wireless keyboards. I do it with the larger items.
Wow.
Man, nobody got
Yep.
time for that shit, dude. Just throw in the garbage.
I mean, I get where they're coming from, but sometimes it's almost like, I don't know, it just feels like a little too much or something. But anyway, hello, my friends. I am Omar Krieg. I am the Lord and Commander of the Krieg Dominion, and your host tonight for episode 3 of Second Star. And I have to preface everything else coming out of my mouth with this: I dealt with COVID last week. That's why we weren't here last week, and that's also why, if you know anything about me, I sound worse than I did the last time you probably heard me. I don't know. Depends on when it was. I am still stuffy. I am still like sniffly a little bit. I'm still coughy a little bit. You take those out of the picture, and I feel absolutely fine, other than my usual aches and pains and sorenesses and exhaustion. Anyway, it's short summary. I am not sick anymore. I just carry a lot of symptoms, which sounds like I'm sick. I don't even know where I'm going with this anymore. Let's get back into the game. So we're playing Traveler 2300. Let me find my notes. That is not where
We
I
were
wanted
on
to be.
Mars last I knew.
Yes, we were. Previously on Second Star, our crew arrived on Mars after departing the Alpha Centauri system, ahead of what appears to be a terrorist attack on the Terrain Interplanetary Station. We see also Dr. Hoffman as he checks in a few days prior to the Wayfinder's arrival and begins to lay the groundwork for the trade deal that is later completed by the XO, Commander Wyatt, and his henchman, Senior Armsman Helwig. Lastly, we see Senior Trooper McAvoy riding literally on the top of an ATV, headed off into the Martian desert, where some range time and later a simulated force-on-force engagement ends up proving that McAvoy might actually be a redeemable grunt after all. Excuse me. Our opening sequence. It is Monday, the 12th of April, in the year 2297. It is sometime around dusk. The ATV that the ship's troops borrowed is now back at the ship, and it is being secured in the bay, even as the cargo is being loaded in the bay directly above the ATV bay. So, like on the ship, I know you guys explained it or have seen in the diagram or whatever. For the viewers, you've got the ATV bay, and then you've got directly above it is the cargo bay. And both of those bays have separate ramps that lead down so that people can load stuff up. Where am I? The camera slides upward through the hangar roof and then angles off towards the commercial sector of Olympia Station. It zooms in on the semi-orderly, brick-like fashion in which a number of hab structures and pods were once laid out, and then zooms in even further into a bar. Neon lights everywhere, bodies dancing to the lively techno-thumping music. Drinks, snacks, a fight quickly smothered without the need for security. In one corner booth, a young woman, early to mid-30s, super short hair, sips on a drink, glances at her watch, and then sweeps around her surroundings. Nothing out of the ordinary. A phone buzzes, she pulls it out, places it to her ear. We can't hear what's being said, but the general body language seems to indicate answering a quick question or two, followed by an exasperated sigh before the phone returns to the pocket from which it was drawn. And then we cut. We're back on the ship. What are you guys doing right now? Zam, McAvoy is currently, I'm sure in some way, helping with getting the ATV loaded back on the ship. If he's not doing that, he's probably like getting weapons turned into the armory, or otherwise getting gear stowed. You guys are in a pressurized atmosphere environment, so you don't have to worry about being exposed to the Martian atmosphere or worse.
Awesome.
But where is everybody else? What are you guys doing right now? It's about 1800 hours on Monday the 12th.
George is talking to the chief steward, Broyles,
Uh-huh.
and they're gonna go over. They're gonna do a hand count of all the ship stores.
Okay. Make sure
Just do
everything.
inventory.
Yep. Make sure there's plenty of food and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Fritz is in the loading bay, observing the loading of the ATV, and then going through the checklist, getting ready to go grab some troopers to clean it, because it's obviously covered with dust and other stuff. And then
Oh,
making
yes.
sure that everything works.
Oh yes.
All the maintenance and all the other fun stuff.
Yep. I could think of 2 troopers, although one of the names I can't think of. Oh, Spearman. Carl Spearman, and Buford Aiello, the 2 fuckers that wanted to play stupid games in
Grab
Zero
it.
G.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Yep. And I'm grabbing them and explaining to them, that we need to get the maintenance logs done, make sure that the fuel's topped off, make sure that everything's been cleaned out from the inside, right? And then
I'm gonna
we
I'm-
need to get the dust off of this before we take off.
I'm gonna hit you with a term that you may or may not know. It's a term that we use in the Army, and I know you were in the Navy. Day
Yeah.
0 recovery,
Yep.
which is everything that you just described, and then some more. Basically, all your equipment comes back. Lots of cleaning, lots of initial inventories, lots
Yep.
of BS, and you haven't even gone home from the field yet. Like, you're still at work. You got back in from the field, and this is
Yep.
what you got to do. I hated day 0. Day 0 is ass.
Yeah. We called it a turnaround inspection.
Mhm.
Here's the checklist. Here we're gonna go through all this and verify it's all done, and then yeah.
Yep, probably got to swap out an air filter or 2 or something silly like that, because that
Yep.
Martian dust gets everywhere.
Yep, and we don't want to have any of that dust in 0G, and that's.
Oh,
we
no,
emphasize in
absolutely not.
0G.
That'll
What,
plug up an
you
air
want- You want
filter.
to breathe in the fresh Martian air?
No, ill, no. Clog up the.
And then I'm reminding them that they're not off duty until I can see this that it's all off. So
I believe the cliche is you're not dead until I can eat lunch off of this.
Well,
yeah, but
not necessarily on day 0, or your initial, your first half, however many hours you might want to go for. McAvoy, where are you at? I gave you a couple of ideas, considering you are literally just now coming back from your little excursion.
I guess I could be like, trying to help get the ATV back into the ship. I guess
Makes
This is a
sense.
pretty good idea.
Okay.
Like helping it back up or something like that. Or I don't know if it goes in reverse into the ship or forward. I don't know how this works.
I feel
I've never
like
had to load a giant piece of military equipment into a larger piece of military.
I would imagine the ATV. So in my head, when I came up with that really sketch floor plan that I never reference, definitely not on live stream because it's absolute trash as far as the artwork goes.
of course.
I couldn't remember. I don't remember now which way the floor plan is, and that would have indicated like if the vehicles are pointed forward, they might even be pointed sideways. 90 degrees to the ship's long axis, which means, of course, some tricky maneuvering, backing them up onto the ATV or into the ATV bay, and then doing some Zamboni style turnarounds to get them lined up the way they're supposed to be.
In terms of like the size of, like, are we talking? Is it getting loaded into like a large hangar like room, or is it just like a really kind of?
It's not a very large bay. I don't remember specific dimensions, but there is literally just enough room for both of the ATVs in the same bay, along with like there might be some like toolboxes, bolted to a wall or something like that, and just enough room to walk around them. But otherwise,
So
like
max cap
super.
for max cap for like other vehicles in the ship seems to be right here, and that's 2.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that gives me an idea of what we're dealing with, I guess.
Yeah, it's like it's definitely one of those like the ideal scenario would probably be, both of the vehicles pointed towards the front end of the ship when they're parked and stowed, because that would be the easiest way to get them in and out without having to do 90-degree turns and whatever.
Yeah, but we have to like back out off the ramp, and that's got to be a pain, probably. I imagine.
It'd be far easier to back it up into the ship. You'd be backing up the ramp, but you know, in my experience with moving vehicles around, both military and otherwise, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
I imagine they'd probably back it into the ship
Yeah, yeah.
as opposed to instead of pulling in, because like if, let's say they need to deploy their thingy immediately or as quickly as possible, they don't have to worry about reversing out of the ship and going out and doing shit. They just can just
Yeah, you
bolt
just literally
out.
just drive right off the ramp and go. But yeah, okay, so basically everybody's well set up. All right, so Wyatt, you receive I'll just say text message, but you receive a message, and the sender is Mr. Spielberg, who, if you recall, is the local broker that helped get you set up with all the cargo and stuff like that. Do you?
When I have a moment, I'll respond back. Oh, hello, Mr. Spielberg. Thank you for the recommendation of the chocolates.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the chocolates. Yeah, so he sends you a quick message. One, he's checking in to see, you know, any issues with the cargo and all that stuff. Secondly, he is reminding you about Natalia Giordano and wondering if you've been able to follow up with her yet.
No, not as such.
Okay. So his next message is she is currently at the Red Rock Bar and is wondering if you guys are available to meet with her at any point this evening. Otherwise, she's going to have to look for other potential takers for her offer.
Yeah. If she wants to meet now, we'll go meet her now.
Okay. Who's going to go meet with her?
I'll take along the guy I went with last time.
The guy
He
who
needs more stuff to do.
Yep.
Hellwig.
I'll tag along.
Okay. Anybody else going? Anybody else going to the bar?
Mm.
Are you gonna give the are you gonna give the
I don't
captain a
s-
heads up since you're leaving the ship?
We're in port. I don't think I have to. I mean, I'll probably just let them know just out of reflex. But like, we're
Okay.
in port. And I'm doing ship business, so.
Okay.
I mean, unless I'm told to, I don't think I have the right to just leave and go out unless they
No.
request me to go with them.
No,
so.
As a player, do you want to come along?
That doesn't matter. Context wise, it doesn't matter. If I'm
If
a
you want
player
to
or
go
not.
as a player, then George will have the sudden need to also include another person along with him.
Dude, you and I have already gone off on the wrong foot. That wouldn't make any sense, dude. Like, I have the sudden urge to invite this guy that I had a bit of an issue with.
This guy who just keeps wanting to smoke every time I see him.
He keeps trying to
I
smoke,
do
he
have
tried
one
shooting his
suggestion.
son.
The EXO could. I mean, I'm assuming the EXO is probably somewhere near. Well, no, you were checking on food stores, so you're probably more back towards one of the hab pods where the galley
listen.
is.
You guys can go off, right? And I'll say that maybe if the DM would allow me to do this, since these guys are off doing shit, maybe I could use this time to train my gun combat like I was doing last time.
I mean, you just got done with, you know, a firing range and then a simulated force on force. I don't know how much more gun combat training you want. Don't answer that because I know the answer.
Increase my skill level a little bit more, or at least one more.
Oh, that's gonna take a lot more than just 1 or 2 sessions to get that up.
Well, of course, obviously, that's why I'm gonna no time like the present, and since I can't, and since it really doesn't make sense for these two assholes to invite me, the coolest
Fair
guy
enough.
on the ship.
No,
and,
actually, what you would be doing if you don't go with them, what you would be doing is between you and the rest of your team, you'd be probably cleaning weapons and getting all that Martian dust and shit off your weapons and getting them cleaned up so they could be stored back in the armory again.
Well, there we go then.
Yeah. All right, so we have Wyatt and Hellwig heading to the Red Rock, which is
Hellwig. That's his name. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I forgot your character's name. Hellwig.
Yep.
It's okay. I understand.
Doesn't care.
So first you shoot a quick message to the captain. The captain actually calls you on your phone as opposed to a text. EXO, what's going on? We're supposed to be departing.
You know, I totally forgot what we're doing with Natalie's supposed to give us work, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we're. This contact on Mars is supposed to offer us a additional freelance work for pay. I'm gonna go see if it's worthwhile, if it's worth the delay.
Okay. Give me a call in an hour, or text me in an hour.
Yeah.
And let me know what happens.
Yeah. Roger Wilco.
Alrighty. He hangs up because captains are always busy doing whatever it is that captains do when they're not on the screen. Yeah. So you
Apparently
hop
it was- it's watching Very Odd Parents.
He probably,
Hey,
he
man,
probably does have a. You know what he's doing? Because I gotta plug it. He's watching those 3-on-3 robot death battle matches, which are
Dude.
fine sports combat entertainment that I actually run on Sundays. that I
That hurt
just
my
started.
ears. I didn't know my volume was that high. Jesus fuck. I like to have a little something playing in the background while I'm fucking listening to you guys ramble about your fucking side mission while I'm out here doing the real work,
Doing the
cleaning
real work.
guns.
Cleaning guns. Yep. So yeah. Anyway, so you Wyatt and Helwig hop in some sort of tram car kind of deal and hover on over to the commercial district to the Red Rock. The Red Rock is not a very large bar, but there's probably like 10, 20 people on this little rinky-dink dance floor. The music is, as the youngins may say, banging. I don't know if they really use that word anymore, but it's definitely bumping. There's a number of booths off to one side, kind of ringing, kind of like the perimeter of the club or whatever you want to call it. In one of them, there is a young, probably about 25 to 28-year-old woman, very short hair. I imagine when people pass contacts, like arbitrarily between each other, like, hey, here's Spielberg's contact information. I imagine there's some sort of like quick little shot, like photo shot of what they look like. And you would have gotten Giordano's contact information already because I'm pretty sure he gave it to you last session. Spielberg, that is. So you can recognize that this is Natalia Giordano off in that one booth by herself. She looks like she's just sipping this, like, I don't know. I almost want to say a cocktail, but it's probably just like soda water or something. But she is definitely in a booth by herself.
What? She's not drinking alcohol? What the fuck? In a bar?
Well, she was
What the
hoping to
hell?
meet. She was hoping to meet some. I don't know if clients is the right word. Some prospects or something.
Potential customer.
Here's your chance to meet somebody for friends and expand your skill set. I'm gonna, as I'm following EXO behind, I'm gonna kind of look around, make sure there's nothing, kind of do an investigation and make sure there's nothing obvious that seems to stick out.
Probably the most obvious thing is just that over in one corner near the bar, there was a couple of, I don't know, probably like, I don't know if college kid age would be the right, but very young, very loud, very
Frat
boisterous, and very drunk. Being what you would otherwise expect a bunch of young, dumb, drunk kids to be doing, just obnoxious. Basically hitting on any girl that walks by, or even
Right.
some guys for that matter, because let's be inclusive. But yeah, other than that, everything seems more or less normal for what you would expect in a nightclub.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm just kind of following the EXO behind and trying to do that whole not look like a cop, but I'm a cop thing.
Trying to be a cop without
Okay,
looking
cool.
like a cop, but man, you look like a cop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm
that
a
whole
cop.
vibe,
Cool.
that whole vibe is just not there.
Yep. All right. She sees you guys approaching immediately, because if you didn't notice, she's constantly looking around, watching people
These
around
guys aren't cops, she thinks to herself.
her. Yeah. And she doesn't quite lock eyes. Like there's no actual eye contact, but she's definitely watching you as you get closer and closer. I'm assuming Wyatt is going to take the lead here, but she just watches as you guys get closer and waits for one of you all to say something.
When I get close enough where we can actually like talk to each other over the loud music and I'll extend the hand out. Like, hi, I'm the executive officer of the Wayfinder,
Oh, it's good to
Commander
meet you.
Wyatt.
Oh, Commander Wyatt, good to meet you. She stands up and she'll shake your hand, and then she'll stick her hand out to Helwig. And she'll
Yep.
say, "I'm Natalie. Please have a seat. Do you guys want anything to drink?
Water would be just fine.
Water, okay. For you?
Yeah.
What was your name?
Club soda. Fritz.
Fritz. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
club soda, some water. She
Yeah.
weighs down I was gonna say waiter, but this is a nightclub, so there's probably not too many actual wait staff going around. But she does wave over to the barkeep, and a moment later, another person comes by, and she tells that person what you guys want to drink. I'm trying not to burp into the mic. Sorry. Um, and a moment or so later, you get some water and some fuck. I already forgot what you said. Soda something. Soda water.
Yep.
You get some flat water and some bubbly water. Anyway,
Exactly.
so she doesn't really say a whole lot. She's just kind of waiting because she doesn't want to start her little spiel, as it were, until you guys get your drinks. But other than that, she just looks over at the table, takes a sip of her own drink, and says, "So Spielberg sent you, huh?"
Yes, that's what we received your confirmation for.
Okay.
From.
Did he tell you anything about the job?
No, he did not. He did not expand upon that.
Okay, good. I'll keep it short and simple. I represent and am a member of Kel's Rifles. We're a small mercenary crew. We recently completed a security contract, and we are now in the process of moving ourselves and our gear elsewhere into the Chinese arm. But the the jackass that hired us is trying to get us to stay longer for a follow-on contract. And I'm going to be frank, he's holding on to most of our equipment, and this is equipment that we need, but we can't just show up on transports with all of our gear, even if it's boxed up and crated, because that tends to make people a little nervous. And obviously, we can't afford our own transportation, inherent to our crew. So we're kind of stuck. We need our gear. Gear's locked up where we can't get to it, and most of the units already moved into the Chinese arm.
All right. Okay. I hear that as a problem. I don't know exactly what you want from us, though.
Well, I guess I probably should elucidate then. What we're looking to do is to find someone who can reacquire our gear and bring it to the starport, where I have a ship waiting for me and the few of us that are left. This ship is ready to go, but well, we need to get going.
I lean in and I go, Exo, she wants us to steal her gear from the people who have it in Hawk.
Yeah, it sounds like right. It sounds like they want us to boost the gear. Is that something that this organization does? Do we do? Because this is just theft.
On some levels,
is
yes.
This organization cool with doing crimes?
So, out of character, this is a job that's being presented to you as an out of character thing. It's being presented to see how you respond and what kind of direction you'd be willing to go versus, the obvious role playing side of it. As far as what flex is allowed or not allowed, or what they'll turn a blind eye to, is a question that maybe the captain would know, who's definitely got the experience out there, as it were. For clarity and anything that she herself did not actually say, obviously would be out of character information. But yeah, basically this agency has hired their unit. Their unit went and did stuff, so the contract is complete. But they're trying to get the unit to stick around and take a follow-on contract, and won't release their gear to be shipped to where they're actually trying to get to next. So, legally speaking, it's not exactly theft yet. if that makes any sense. They're just trying to get their gear back because somebody is currently, one could argue, unlawfully holding on to it.
All right. Not seeing how much gear are we talking about?
We have a crate that contains probably about 30 odd battle rifles, spare equipment, parts, and basically a platoon's worth of firearms. So obviously not just battle rifles. There's probably some pistols and some other different types of firearms, but somewhere in the neighborhood of about 30 to 45 guns, various calibers, various sizes, as well as tools to maintain and spare parts.
And what type of facility is it being held in?
It is currently being held in of all places, a holding facility, not even necessarily a warehouse per se. It is in the warehouse district, but it's more like on the edge, if that makes any sense. I didn't actually come up with a name when I wrote this a couple weeks ago, so it's basically just a holding stage or a staging area. It's basically one of those areas where like you've got your big warehouses where all the stuff is being stored, and then when it gets ready to be moved from there, it goes to another place where it's kind of held onto, typically for just a couple of days, while they're actually reorganizing the ship. What's that?
It's like a quarantine spot for immigration, customs,
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah.
Except it's not so much,
And
in this case, it's not so much the
No.
immigrations are quarantined or what have you. It's just they stored it there because it was supposed to get loaded up within the next day or so. But then in the intervening time, the hiring agent was like, "No, keep it there. We don't want them to go. We're trying to hire them back on." But yeah, so this isn't a not quite a warehouse, but fundamentally it is a holding facility near or just outside the warehouse sector.
is there any extraneous security besides what the warehouse would have?
I have not actually gone through the area on a regular, I haven't done a full recon sweep, if you will. But it is my understanding that there is the obligatory security that is responsible for the warehouse sector, and there's not much more beyond that I'm aware of.
Okay. So, a universe question.
Mhm.
What non-lethal options do we have?
So, are you asking like if you were to go to the
Are there stun guns are
okay,
there
gotcha.
stun baton firearms for shotguns? Sleepy time gas.
A lot of that stuff would be available generally. A lot of your non-lethal, I'll categorize it as that. Your non-lethal stuff is usually only available to the police or military or agencies of that sort. Not to say, of course, that you can't get your hands on it, because if you look hard enough, you can get anything anywhere.
Okay, let's simplify the question.
Yeah.
Do we have anything non-lethal available to us on the ship?
Presumably, you would have some sort of stun batons, some sort of knockout gas grenade kind of thing. Obviously, you have lethal stuff as well.
Right. But I don't want to kill a bunch of civilians guarding a warehouse because they make $1.25 an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
A warrant for our arrest is not a good thing to be in other airspace.
I mean, it's still assault to hit someone with stun baton. It's just not as bad.
Yeah, it's assault, not quite assault and battery.
Okay. The final question, and then resume the conversation. Okay. And the final question, of course, is what's the payout?
I can offer you 2,500 per person, assuming you don't take any more than about 4 people. I would imagine. I imagine, and she kind of squints her eyes a little bit. She recognizes the Flex logo on your uniform, and I imagine that money will go to your ship's account. So I am also able to offer an additional 1,000 per person to their directly to their personal accounts.
That's it. Jesus
14.
Christ. This denied. bad
Yeah, but
mission.
you got to understand, $2,500 might not be a lot, or it might be an awful lot. And also, like, think about the job. Like, it's literally just go grab this crate and bring it to the starport for me.
Yeah.
So it's a milk run, right? So it should only take a couple hours.
It's just that, like, so
Only
one question you didn't ask, and I'll tell you strictly out of character. What, how come she and her people didn't go and grab this crate themselves? Is they're trying
well,
not
they
to
don't
be.
have any equipment.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of their own equipment. Plus, they're trying not to be terribly obvious that it's them taking their shit back, because that can quickly escalate the situation.
Hey, you should try to maybe try to like, squeeze her for like a higher price. Like maybe say, oh, I mean, if you can't go get it yourself, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
$14,000 for a couple. $14,000 for a couple hours of the work is actually like really good pay.
That actually is. How did?
guys
Tell
are
me
being
how you
too
came up. Oh, you
nice.
came up. 2,500 times 4 is 10, plus 4,000. Okay, I see how you came up with 14 grand. Okay.
$14,000 is yeah. I mean, I'm gonna get charged the max amount no matter how many people I bring. If I bring 2 people, she's still gonna pay me $14,000. I'll just tell her I brought 4 people.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Okay, so wait, how much money are we all like making as players from this shit exactly?
Your salary.
Yeah,
My
you're
sa-
getting your
that's it?
set.
I'm making my salary for
So-
a fucking mission.
The 2,500 per character would go straight to the ship's account. So that's 10
I
grand to the
know.
ship's account. Plus, effectively, not necessarily a tip, but you'll get $1,000 direct to your account. So,
That's less than my salary. I make more just doing my job.
well,
this.
now
This is
you can
garbage.
make. So you're making. I don't remember what your salary is.
It's
I wanna
300 if I have my window open. I think. Hold on.
Yeah, it's 1,500 sounds right. You're
1300.
basically, yeah. So you're gonna basically make almost a month's pay in just a couple hours.
Stupid. No.
That-
We could do some cargo trading instead and make like twice that much probably.
Absolutely, you can.
We already are. We already have $425,000 worth of cargo on the ship.
And made
Yep.
something like 20 grand profit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but like, what if it's a trap, guys? What if we get fucking like mined?
That is always definitely a possibility. Yes,
Like this- I mean,
and
she
part.
seems kind of
So
shady.
the next. Yeah, she works for a mercenary company. Of course, she's shady. There's like no upstanding citizen that works for a PMC. Those Venn diagrams are 2 separate circles.
Those Venn diagrams.
So yeah, you should probably just you cut your loss and say fuck off, woman, and never talk to her again. But in a polite manner.
So the next 2 steps for Wyatt is to talk to the captain and then do recon, and then that will determine whether or not we do the job. All right. So back to the conversation with Natalie. It's like, okay, well, what kind of time? How long do we have? How long do we have to accept the job?
She
I need some time to discuss it over with my captain and whatnot.
she takes a drink, and it kind of leans over the table a little bit, a little closer. There isn't much time. However, I get it. I understand. You got to clear it through your ship's captain. I can't argue with that.
You are exposing us to possible legal
Absolutely.
ramifications for doing this.
Absolutely, totally understandable. I will say, my transport is getting very antsy about staying on this planet any longer. They want to leave first thing in the morning. For reference, it is now probably about 19 going on 2000. 7 going on 8 o'clock in the
I'm
evening.
not really good at military time.
Yeah, that's why I translated.
Wait.
It's
what's
roughly,
8
it's like 7, somewhere between 7 and 8 p.m.
All
And
right, cool.
her ship is wanting to
And-
leave first thing in the morning, with or without her, with or without her gear.
Not that it matters, but Mars has approximately like a 25.5-hour day, so
It's actually really close to Earth, but yeah, same difference.
I want to
Okay,
get good at military
yeah.
time.
So Wyatt will he'll like stay with the lady and he'll pull away and he'll try to find he'll get some privacy and he'll text the captain. He'll explain the situation. This PMC wants us to do an equipment recovery from a warehouse for $14,000. Probably won't take more than 4 or 5 hours.
Okay. And you're texting this, you said?
Yeah, I'm texting this to the captain.
Okay. It takes a moment because he has to read it a couple of times to figure out how he's gonna phrase it. type one or two things and then delete it and then type another thing and then delete that and then finally type something and send that.
I see a bunch of typing.
Yep, you see the little
notification in
dot
window.
dots. So what he tells you, I'm gonna paraphrase. Basically, officially, Flex is not allowed to execute something like this without actual orders, and therefore he cannot deploy ship's troops under any sort of official capacity. However, he doesn't say this in very easy language because he's trying to skirt around the issue. Like, we know things like this can happen. We don't condone this, but we understand that sometimes we have to go a little bit outside of the regulations. Volunteers only, and he will only approve if the money that you mentioned is going into the ship's accounts.
Yes. Yes.
Wait,
It's
so
going
like,
to
are
the
we
ships.
is this like not a legal mission then, technically?
So
breaking
out of
and entering it.
character. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We're stealing someone's shit from a warehouse. It's
Hey,
definitely
hey,
illegal.
listen, if my character catches wind of this shit, I'll gladly volunteer to be a Black Ops guy.
Well, you're still on the ship, dusting your weapon off. So
Yeah, I'm,
Um,
making sure
now-
she stays clean,
technically, this is illegal. Once it gets into some sort of litigation, and the stories start coming out, and there's evidence and witness statements and all that stuff, it will be eventually determined that perhaps the holding agency should have just let this shit go because they had no actual legal rights or obligations to hold on to this other company's personal or this company property. But at the same time, you did try to steal, so therefore
Yeah.
it could get kind of muddy really fast. So fundamentally, the legalities would eventually work itself out. It's the fact that it would take time that nobody really wants to commit. The
Well-
last thing that the captain says, by the way, is that no more than 4 volunteers only, and he cannot guarantee any real legal support if things go poorly, for obvious reasons.
Okay, listen. I don't know how, when, or where. I'll tell you this now, though. I'm in. I'm in.
I think we knew that.
I'll do something illegal. Please give it to me right now.
Please give me a reason to do something against the law.
So, Craig, I only want to bring NPCs. I want to leave the 2 PCs behind. I'm going to bring 3 NPCs with me.
I see where you're going. This is like shit goes downhill. It needs to be background characters and people that have no screen time whatsoever.
We gotta give them some. We gotta give them some screen time, man. Give them some time.
Okay. I would personally, as the GM, I would recommend at the very least Hellwig because of his cop background and the fact that he was already there at the meeting.
I'm not going to be a dick. I'm going to bring the PCs with me. I mean, they're here to play a game. They're not here to watch me talk.
No. You should totally ignore my character and bring
Bring the
Carl
doctor.
Spearman.
Bring Carl. Why? Carl can't do shit.
What are you talking about? Carl's the best soldier in the forest, man.
Oh, get out of here. Get out of here. All right. Do you have anything else for the captain? Because otherwise he's probably got more like, I don't know, paperwork or something to do.
No, that's all.
Okay.
Goes back to
I'll
playing,
come back.
All right. The captain
I'll-
leaves. The captain's final message to you is something extremely ambiguous, but it does more or less suggest or hint at, let me know how things go, but don't tell me how things go. I'm being a little sarcastic, but he's definitely leaving the intent of his message is good luck, but I am not condoning this. He's trying to keep his hands clean.
I'll come back to the table with Natalie,
Okay.
and I'll say that we'll accept the job. Tentative, of course, the fact of if it's heavily guarded, we're not gonna do the mission. So if we deem the target too hardened, we're gonna call it off.
Okay.
We're gonna execute it tonight. Where would you like us to drop off the goods?
She gives you. I'm gonna say coordinates. It's not really the right word, but basically she's saying, landing pad something or other at the starport. The starport is obviously, as we mentioned or described last week, not last week, the week before. But as we described before, the starport's not terribly large. Something on the order of a small town, or not a small town, but a small city airport. So it's, you're on one end, the ship that you need to bring it to is probably on like the opposite end or something.
And then I also tell her that we'll start commencing the mission as soon as the $14,000 is inside an escrow.
Okay. She does that right there on the spot. She pulls out a little tablet, and you can see, and everything, as far as you can tell, looks legit. You can see how the money moves from what is basically identified as the mercenary account, the mercenary banking account, into a third-party account for holding with a 24-hour.
Yeah, that's basically the escrow is just acting as a third party, right?
Yep. Yeah, they're just
They'll
holding
hold
on to
the
it.
money, and the money's visible. Yeah.
Yep. 14,000 moves from the mercenary account into this secondary account, and there's like an actual little timer on there where if no further action is completed within 24 hours, that money will revert back to the mercenary command.
Okay. And then I'll shake your hand, and then all right, I'll see you. I'll see you hopefully before 24 hours are up. And then I beckon Helvig to come follow me.
Okay. All right. So you guys are gonna go and do a little bit of recon.
I am Capitan.
Yeah. Actually, who would be good at recon? I mean, like, are you good at recon, Helvig? I'm not good at recon. That's a weakness of my character. I can't research. I can't check out things.
Yeah, I got a 1 for recon plus a 2 for investigate. And then I have a 0 for admin, but we could.
I think with the
And I have a
recon
1 for
and
protect.
the investigate, I think you can definitely get a fair chance of being able to get a good scope of the area without being obvious about it.
Right.
So basically,
So, Helvig.
go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry.
Nope. Go ahead.
So, Helvig, this is I can't order you to do this mission. If you want to do it, fantastic. Would you like to do this mission?
Yeah. Yes. Let's go do this because and I kind of emphasize that the moral ethics, them being held up like this is dirty pool, and if people want to move on, they should be allowed to move on, and da 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 da.
Yeah, like on one hand, it's
Fantastic.
legit, but on the other hand, it is a dirty tactic.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Go put on some civilian clothing and go check out the supposed location where the items are being held. Bring a small arms with you, but only use it if fired upon.
Roger. So I go back and I change into some very nondescript civilian gear, probably the same stuff I showed up to the ship with.
Okay. Are you gonna grab anybody else from the ship before you head out?
I'm gonna talk with my wife, and I'm gonna ask her if she has anyone on her crew, which is particularly good at busting open locks.
Well,
I'll just tell her what's happening.
Yeah.
Yes, Jesus.
Did you guys forget that he was married? That's funny.
Oh no, I never knew he was married to begin with.
You know who would probably, looking at the roster, there's 2 people. They're pretty low rank. But the 2 that I'm thinking of is Gavin Eggleston and Holly Donovan, the mechanic and the
really
mechanic's
good.
mate. They sound like they would know how to break a lock without getting too terribly caught up in it.
Oh yeah, there she is, Wyatt, right there. I see him right there.
Yeah, Alia Wyatt.
I forgot. You're married.
So are you gonna grab a?
The chocolates for?
Congratulations, dude.
All right. So do you want to grab both Eggleston and Donovan, or do you want to grab just one of them, or what do we want to do?
I'll just grab one of them. Whichever one is won't have duties on the ship for tonight. I'll grab that one.
Okay.
If they're willing to come with, I'll make sure to stress the fact it's volunteer, so they can deny if they want me to.
Eggleston, Gavin. He looks over. He's kind of pokes his head out of the engineering bay. He overhears you and your wife talking. He's like, "You need some help, XO?" He's got like a wrench and he's wiping the wrench down with a dirty rag.
We're gonna liberate we're gonna liberate some cargo that's being held unduly.
Eggleston just looks over at Mrs. Wyatt and says, "I'm not even on shift right now. Do you really need me to help out, or can I go and have an excursion?" And the lady Wyatt just kind of smirks a little bit, and then looks back at you, George, and says, "Whatever you do, just be careful and come back, please. Don't fuck this up."
I haven't died yet.
Yet, see, you got to stop using that word. That is the word that concerned my parents when I told them about this. The yet.
It looks like it's a milk run. It looks like it's being held inside a typical freighter warehouse. That should probably have a fucking shitty master lock on it. It should be very easy to pop and open. Hopefully.
You know what else looks like a
I
milk
have-
run? You know what else looks like a milk run, honey? Everything at first. Be careful.
I have Helvig investigating the location before we go and do so. Hopefully, if it's too hard, we aren't going to do it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll
Alright.
be here.
Well, anyway,
I'll be
see
here
you
making
for-
sure the
yeah.
engines don't explode the next time we lift off. Go ahead and take Eggleston
Yeah,
with you.
no. Thank you. All right, Eggleston, come with me, and then I'm going to go talk with Franco first. Troop
Franco.
Sergeant
That's
Franco.
okay. That's
Julia Franco.
Yep. Oh, that's Troop Sergeant. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not going to take one of her boys without her permission. That's just rude.
Well, so Franco is the sergeant, and Latoya Hurst is the lieutenant, essentially, even though her title is
Oh,
Troop
which one?
Commander.
Okay, so
You
for
can go
me
to
to make sure I don't piss.
As the XO,
I'll go
you
talk-
you probably want to talk to the Troop Commander, but you could probably get away with
Right,
talking
right.
to either one.
I'll talk with her. I'm sorry, I'll talk with her. So I want to make sure. I want to have tacit permission before I just order someone to go do. Before I ask someone to go do this. So
Yeah.
I'll go talk to Hurst.
Okay. All right. Hurst is literally in the middle of a set of push-ups in her room, or in her personal quarters. She's got like, I don't know. She's not quite drenched in sweat, but you know, it's clear that she's been doing some sort of physical exertion for a while. And when she answers the door, she's definitely got that flushed, super hot, like I've been working out look. She grabs a water bottle and then she grabs a towel and she's like, "So, what can I do for you?"
There is an opportunity come up for the ship for pay. It's volunteer only. I was curious if you would be all right if I tagged McEnvoy for these duties. Assuming, of course, he wants to volunteer.
You're looking at taking McAvoy, you said?
Yeah.
She chuckles when you're like, "There's an opportunity for some work for pay," because this isn't her first rodeo either. She just kind of
Yeah,
chuckles and chugs some of her water.
Yeah, and an opportunity for pay, and it's volunteer. I think it's very clear what it is.
Yeah, this is very obvious. Something off the books. She just chuckles and she's like, "You want to take McAvoy? You know his drill history hasn't been very good, but he did do pretty good out there in the field. So
Well,
50-50, I guess."
as you may or may not be aware, but McAvoy and I, we've known each other for quite a few years.
Mm.
I'll trust him to watch my back watch my back at the very least.
All right, fair enough. He's probably yelling at one of his knuckleheads to get their weapons clean faster. I don't know. Probably down in near the armory. I'll
All right,
I'll
thank
shoot
you,
him a
Hurst.
text. I'll shoot him a text real quick. Let him know you're on the way. That you got this opportunity.
Opportunity.
Yeah, that might be the code word
Thank you
from now
very
on.
much.
McAvoy,
Alright,
you promptly receive a text from Lieutenant or Troop Commander Hurst. It says something basically, Exo's on his way to see you. Opportunity for extra work.
Well, I'm busy. I'm busy drilling my guys here. They're all doing sit-ups right now. You see, they're all working the fuck out. I'm trying to get them strong. You see, Carl's a little on the weak side. I kind of don't
He
like.
might be a little
that.
flabby.
He's a little flabby. I need Carl to kind of shapen up a little bit. So I'm really working him out specifically. I'm singling him out, unfortunately. I'm singling Carl out a little bit.
Yeah, you are.
I want him to do. I want him to do 100 sit-ups. Yes, that's right. I said 100.
Yeah, and he's
Okay.
probably struggling at about 44 right now.
That's what you'll see, Mr. Wyatt. XO official, big shitter, big shotter,
Shot caller.
big shit shot caller.
All right, go ahead, you two interact.
So is it gonna be like a kill mission?
No. God, no. Bring less than lethal, non-lethal. You will bring, of course, a firearm on you in case things go sideways, but that's last defense. Last. That's our last option that we'll use. No, we'll bring stun batons, and we'll be as non-lethal as possible. These guys are just working a 9 to 5. Jesus Christ.
I'm trying so hard not to laugh out loud right now.
I
Sorry.
mean,
Go ahead, guys. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying it'd be easier. So
No. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't realize you wanted the easy route.
yeah, I prefer the easy money.
No. We're gonna take stun batons. We'll bring pistols, and that's it. And it should be a very quick thing. We probably won't even have to talk to anyone.
All right. Somebody shoots at me. I can't guarantee their safety.
Yes, if we're being fired upon with deadly force, yes, we'll use deadly force to defend ourselves.
Alrighty, well, count me in.
All right. All right. You're cleared for duties for the rest of the evening.
Alrighty.
You're cleared of duties for the rest of the evening.
It's somewhere in a sweat. Jesus Christ! And a puddle of sweat. Carl's just like, thank you.
I didn't tell you to stop.
Damn it!
I'm gonna
Then,
look at who else is under my thing again? My
You
command?
got Buford, you got Carl, and you got
Buford,
Kirsty
Carl.
Blaine.
Buford. By the time I get back, make sure he's done at least 100.
Buford just kind of looks at you. It's like, I get it. Yeah, roger that. Got it. I gotta interject real fast. Charles may have heard that tone that I threw in there. I think Charles knows exactly what I just said.
Mm-hmm. As soon as he's around the corner, okay, man, knock it off.
Yep. It basically sounds an awful lot like, go fuck yourself. He's done.
If he can't do 100 stairs by the time I get back.
For
You're
my
gonna be doing
viewers
sit-ups.
who are not familiar with military subtext, I guess is the right word. That was the tone of, Roger, I understand exactly what you want, and you're not gonna get it.
Yep.
All right, well, if I don't get it, he's gonna be doing 100 sit-ups, and I'm gonna be watching him do it too. I don't give a fuck. I'm a piece of shit. I don't give a shit. Fuck
That's
you
not even a
guys.
piece of shit. That's how you supervise. Anyway, we're gonna get off track if we continue that line. I'm gonna move
Alright,
up to we're gonna move off to Helwig now. Just for clarity's sake, guys, is Helwig reconning this stuff on his own while EXO is at the ship, or are you all at the ship waiting for everybody to gather up and then go do the recon?
The impression that I gave to Helwig was tell him to go look for. If he wants to wait for more people, that's fine. But I told him to go recon. So I'm doing prep work, so that's why so I'm not involved with recon.
So
It's also not something I'm good at.
So your intent, what I'm hearing that is that you, Wyatt, McAvoy, and Eggleston will head out, link up with Helwig near the site. Helwig will brief the recon situation, and then you guys will execute.
All right.
Yeah.
Is that
real
is that the
quick,
plan?
Make sure I have everything. Let's see.
Okay.
Ooh,
right.
what the fuck? Where'd all my weapons go?
I threw them away.
What the fuck?
You didn't need them.
This-
They're in the
okay, well,
armory. That's where your weapons are.
Well, no. My sheet doesn't have all my cool gear that I put in there on. What the fuck is this shit?
I'm trying to find your character sheet. Oh, here we go.
Damn it. Could've
You.
sworn I saved that.
Well, you don't listen. Don't worry. You're not gonna. Obviously, you're not gonna roll out in your full combat gear. I'm
Well,
thinking
yeah,
like a basic
like,
pistol or
I want
whatever.
to make sure that I have all of my what I own available to me because I'm not gonna remember it all off the top of my fucking head. You know, like
I
come on.
have armored jet. Oh, no, that's the wrong person. For McAvoy, I've got the. I'm not sure
Could
what
you just-
exactly it
just-
stands for, but
Did you just give me the sheet so I can, you know?
I'm looking at a hard copy.
Right.
But yeah, you've got plenty of stuff.
I don't on my sheet. I don't have anything. So if I, I might.
Well,
need
this
that
what
at
that
some
means
point.
though is I probably have this on my hard drive somewhere, and I'll throw it in Discord like on break or
Thank
something.
you. Just
Speaking of Helwig,
Yep.
you are in the warehouse area. The only way
Yep.
I can describe this is just probably for a good 400-500 meters in any given direction. It is nothing but a grid work of shipping containers. And if it's not a shipping container, it's a holding facility or an actual warehouse. And for all intents and purposes, it's probably safe to assume that they are nothing but filled up with shipping containers as well. The particular building that you're looking for is a small cubicle, basically a cube, probably about 10 to 20 meters on a side, and 2 stories tall. Um, the lighting is relatively poor in this particular area, ironically or coincidentally. I need you to roll. Are you using recon or are you using investigate? I feel like
I'm gonna
recon
use,
is definitely on the nose, but I think I'll allow
Yeah.
investigate.
Yeah, let me do a recon. So
Okay.
it's what, 2d6?
Yep, 2d6, and then you add your. I'm trying to. Damn, I'm flipping through sheets too fast. I can't keep up. So you said you're using recon, so I'll use recon and education. So that should be a total of plus. Where's
2.
recon? 2.
So
Yep.
it's an 8.
You rolled a.
Oh no, it's a 7.
Yeah, you rolled a
Yeah.
7. Okay. Yeah. So you see, basically, as best as you could tell, it appears to be coast is clear. Poor lighting. The area that
Right.
you need to get to, you've got clear line of sight directly to what otherwise would be the front entrance. And from everything that it looks like, there's no security, no warnings, no alarms.
Okay. I'm gonna let me see. I have a. Oh no, I don't have a radio attached to that.
Maybe try to
But
shut the power
I
off.
mean-
you know?
I have a subdermal computer, so it's already implanted inside me. So I'll send a note off to the XO Wiggles and say, basically what you just described. That there's no obvious security guards out here. There's no obvious cameras, but there's lights off, which is, I will say, is highly sus for being where we're at. But something could happen, and
Well, keep in mind, the
maybe
other thing
make
I
a
want to.
rec-
I'm sorry, I totally interrupted there. Go ahead.
And I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say maybe we can bluff our way through and be able to walk out, like pretend we're local import export agents or something like that, and our security force or something like that. But if we want to go sneak in, we can do that too.
Okay. I just want to point out this particular building is more or less off to one side of the warehouse area or warehouse sector. So that's part of the reason why the lighting is poor. It's
Right.
just that, they didn't really do a very good job, or maybe they expanded, the volume of shipping containers and these holding areas and warehouses. They've got to use all available space, and they haven't, upgraded the lighting system enough to provide sufficient light. Something like that. But yeah, no. Otherwise, like I said, it's pretty much it appears to be coast is clear.
By
Okay,
the way, Omar,
yeah.
I just wanted to get this out of the way. I remember that my sheet was in the Google Drive, so I have access to all my stuff now. I know
Okay.
all the items.
All right. Yep. All right. So yeah, game plan is up to you guys. At this point, probably about, we'll say about 9 o'clock. You guys are linking up somewhere. I would imagine relatively close to where you need to be.
You need a box truck.
Right. Yeah. That's the other thing we're gonna need is a truck or a conveyance, and I mentioned I can drive.
You need a box truck. I was gonna ask if Spielberg can rent us a box truck he doesn't like.
You know what? Let me see. Well, okay. I'm gonna roll a 2d6. I do have one question for you. Exactly what and or how much do you tell Spielberg about what you need this vehicle for?
I apropos of nothing, I have a job that requires a box truck.
Okay.
He can read between the lines as much as he wanted for that, and I'll
Okay.
specify if it's a box truck he doesn't like. Right, which means, and what I'm trying to convey there is the fact is, if this box truck goes missing or gets fucked up, it's okay because he doesn't like it.
Yeah. No, I got you. 250.
Done.
All right. He gladly takes 250 credit or whatever the French call it from you, and you now have a box truck approximately the size and shape of a FedEx truck.
Guys,
I'm
let's
not
go.
using personal inspiration whatsoever when I say that. Also, I'm not
Well,
trying to
you
imply
know.
that a FedEx truck is only worth $250 because it's fucking not.
Well, whenever we're in the truck and we're discussing shit, I'm be like, well, normally I'd just, shut the power off and take out anybody in our way. But I mean, if we're doing this non-lethally, I suppose, again, it probably would be a good idea if we took the power out, maybe.
And I'm gonna just throw it out there and say, there was this one time as I was operating with this pirate crew, we stole some gear, and what I did was I walked up and pretended to be the security force. We were seizing the cargo for something, and we flashed some fake badges really fast and operated like efficiency and da da da, right? The whole walk with a clipboard, a paperwork, coffee cup, and look like you have authority, and everyone starts bowing down to you, type of thing.
I find
I
it
still pulls
ironic
that
that
off.
cops were pretending to be other cops while masquerading as pirates.
And then I mentioned that to XO, like you can be the load master or something like that, and the rest of us can be the people that need to seize and secure this cargo for whatever reason. You can come up with some good bluff, or I can be the deception person because I've told some pretty good lies in my life. Da da da. But I think we can sneak in, sneak out without having any gunplay. But I do have my pistol with me.
I just kind of,
God, you're just dying to kill somebody, aren't you?
dude, come on. Come on. Come on.
All right,
Uh,
you've got the truck. You guys are gathered up. You are probably about 100 meters away from the target building. A dude pretending to be a dude, pretending to be another dude. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Australis. What are we doing? What's our next move? You've pulled up. You're staged. Essentially, it is just about go time. Two things happen real quick. What's that?
I'm just, maybe we should have planned a little more before we just drove in and did this shit.
Sometimes you just gotta wing it, you know.
Maybe things will go into violence. Let's go.
Not
Two
everyone
things happen.
Can be Mr. Pink, Mr. White, and Mr. Black.
Jesus Christ. Two things happen. One, Wyatt, you receive a text from Gordano. It is a simple question of. It is literally, Y or N? Question mark.
Why?
She sends back a smiley face.
Colon bracket.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I would say we're just gonna boost open the warehouse door lock, and we're gonna drive the truck in, and we're gonna find the pallet. We're just gonna move out.
Okay. Second thing, you also receive, Commander Wyatt. You receive a text message from the captain. It simply says "update?" question mark.
We're currently having fun with our night out for drinks and fun. We're currently having lots of fun doing karaoke and drinking.
He sends back a question mark, and then he almost immediately sends the 2 beer bottles cheersing emoji.
He said he didn't want to be in the loop. All right, so I'm not saying stuff directly.
Yeah, no, that's why. Like at first he's like, "What the
Hey.
fuck are you talking about? This does not sound at all like what you mentioned." Oh. Cheers, mate.
Hey George, just adding the game, buddy. Come on.
That's what happened right there. Okay, what's the next move?
We're gonna pull the box truck up to one of the warehouse doors, and Eggleston is gonna go pop open what is probably, hopefully, just a shitty lock.
Okay. I need a deception roll. Who's driving?
Okay.
I don't have deception, so
Yeah.
Well, so I got a deception of 2 and a drive wheel of 1.
All right. Give me your
Hey,
give me your deception
Wheels Man.
first. Give me your deception roll first.
Okay.
What's that?
It doesn't matter.
It's called deception. You see.
He rolled an 8 with his deception skill alone. It's a 10. So, yeah. So anybody that sees this not a FedEx truck driving through the warehouse sector, they absolutely are just like, yep, that's normal. Okay.
We're a box truck and like a warehouse district. I mean, what's
Yeah,
more normal
yeah.
than that?
This totally checks out. This is not unusual whatsoever. Let me
You know what else
see.
is? You know what else is not unusual? To fall in love with someone.
What?
It's a
What the fuck
song.
are you talking about?
It's a song.
George?
Tom Jones. Tom Jones.
Okay. I'm gonna roll. Eggleston's got a whatever the skill is. I can't think off the top of my head.
It would be mechanics or it'd be an electronics roll, but yeah,
Yeah.
depending what the lock is.
Yep. It'll be a mechanical roll. It's
guess
more of
I'll,
a mechanical lock.
I'll keep a lookout, I guess.
Ooh,
who's
he
watching
barely
there.
makes it. He makes it though. He pops the lock. It's one of those, it's kind of like a keypad lock, except instead of like an actual keypad, it's got like, you know what it is? It's those locks like on a suitcase. You know what I'm talking, or a briefcase.
Oh.
So he kind of has to get in there and kind of tinker with the tumblers a little bit. But after a moment or two, he just kind of takes out this big flathead screwdriver and just kind of jams it in there, almost like a knife, and the lock pops right open and the bay door rolls up, and they're right in front of you. Very dimly lit. There's like, it's more like security lighting, not security lighting, safety lighting. Just enough light to let you see by, but not enough to be like lights are on. But right there in front of you is this probably about 1 meter cubed. It might be a little bit larger than that, probably like 2 meters cubed ish. Crate marked Kel's rifles, and there's a whole bunch of other shipping labels and various barcodes and other things like that all over it. But you could tell this is very clearly the Kel's rifle. And when I say that, this is like, it's not somebody went and stenciled this shit on to like, hey, here's the booby trap right here, guys. It's everything appears to be official markings, official shipping labels, and things like that.
So we'll keep Helvig in the truck, and then McElroy and Eggleston and myself will get out, and we'll load the thing in the back of our box truck.
There you go. I just need a strength check.
Could I
Aw,
help you with a
man.
strength check?
Yeah, strength check.
With my robo arm too, if you don't mind.
Yeah, you've got. Let me find your
Robo.
character sheet, 'cause I'm pretty sure you got like a +2 or some shit.
I have a +1 only. I'm planning on upgrading my robot arm even more to do that. But So
It says on here.
2 dot-
Oh, strength +1.
2d6
Okay.
plus 1. So 2d6 +1 then.
Yeah, +1 plus your normal strength, but you only have a 7, so.
So just a +1 then.
Yep. It's you.
What the hell?
Oh, that was Wiggles that rolled that. Sorry.
There we go.
Oh, wow. Look at that, Mister. I always roll shit. I always roll shit. I'm pretty sure that's what he said 2 weeks ago. Somebody call me out and tell me I'm wrong.
Hey, listen, just because
Nope.
I got a 1 good roll doesn't mean I don't always roll shit. Come on, man. I'm banking on my bad luck here. Come on. I need my pity points. Come on, damn it.
Okay. Yeah. For the fact that this crate has 30 or 40 assault rifles, pistols, a bunch of spare parts and tools. And not to mention the crate itself probably weighs 20, 30 pounds. Well,
I ripped the
whatever.
fucking thing off.
Like you and Eggleston managed to very easily slide this thing right up into the back of the box truck with no fucking problem.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah. In fact, that's exactly what happens. You're like, I would have figured it'd weigh more. But yeah,
Not
that's
even
it.
my good arm.
So now, describe for me your exit plan.
We put it in the
Alright.
box truck, and we
Alright.
close the roll down, and we just drive away nonchalantly.
Okay. Give me another deception roll.
I'll let him do that,
Okay.
and I'm gonna keep a lookout in case anybody, susses by or whatever.
That is a good idea. 6 plus 2.
2, 8.
Yep. All right. For McAvoy, since you're doing this lookabout or keeping an eye out, the one thing I've noticed. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. I've noticed that there is no awareness or perception skill in
Oh, that's
Traveler.
recon.
Is that what
Yeah.
recon is? Okay.
Yep.
Yep, recon.
yep.
Recon
Well-
is basically perception, but it's more than that as well. But it's basically perception.
Well, I got a Z. I have
You
no
have
skill
nothing.
in recon.
Yeah. So
Mm.
you don't have any. You know what? You don't have anything in there either. So
I could roll it either way. I'll take the.
You know what? I'll
-3.
let you roll tactics only because you're using your your military / piratey background and
Oh, cool.
looking for things that might catch you up on getting out of here.
All right, fair enough. I love that. Thank you. Let's see what I get. Hey!
Again, I must point out, you do not always roll like shit, and you're no longer
Okay,
at
you
this
know
point
what?
you are no longer allowed to say things like "I roll like shit" all the time. I don't want to even hear it anymore.
All right.
For the
you got
viewers
me.
who
I
may
was
not
lying.
catch that, he rolled a 12 on 2d6 a moment ago, and then just now rolled a 10.
Okay, listen.
so-
Normally I roll garbage.
Well, it's not normal anymore. Your normal now is normal like
Nor-
everybody else.
Well, okay, hang on. I'm gonna give myself some credit here. In my other campaign, I rolled 3 nat 1s in a row, or the equivalent of a nat 1. So like Snake Eyes.
I hear you. All right,
Come on.
so here's what happens. You guys, effectively, you have acquired this box of guns, and that's literally it. Box of guns.
I love that.
And you've closed up the warehouse. You hop back in the truck and you drive off like you're supposed to. You don't squeal any tires. You don't even take a sharp turn, and you definitely don't miss the stop sign right there in front of you. You stop where you're supposed to
Could I-
and
can I
head on
dig through the
over
guns a little
to
bit?
the starport. What were you saying?
While we're driving, can I dig through the guns real
No,
quick? See what I can
It's
find?
sealed.
Damn it! Fuck.
It was sealed for the box is sealed for transport. Like it's not going to be wide open or anything. They would
You
not
know
be
what we
ready
could
for
do? We could-
transport.
okay, we could break it open, like
No,
sneakily,
no,
like
stop,
like with finesse.
stop.
And
You're
then we
not.
could
You
fill
don't
it with
have. You don't
sandbags.
have anything with which to do that. You could break it open, but you definitely would not be able to seal it back up again.
Okay, well,
Forget about it.
but if we
Just
but
forget
if
about it.
we could fill it with
Okay,
sandbags.
let me
to
ask you
all-
this question: what do you think is going to happen when you're not able to put the crate back together correctly, and then you bring the crate to your employer, who is currently holding 14,000 credits in escrow, and then decides that because the box doesn't look like it should, and it's probably your fault, that she's not going to give you guys the money.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I could just leave with the guns and sell them.
I mean, you could. It's
But that would be kind of they'd be kind of shitty. So maybe not.
Then we gotta
And
find a black market.
not in terms of
He
shitty
said-
in game, more like shitty out of game.
I got to point out, Australis here, he says there's less piracy and theft in Pirates of Dynax than what he's seeing here. So what I'm hearing is, and I hope I got this right, there's more shit of piracy nature in this one episode that he's seen in, I don't know, what is it, like six adventure campaign?
Listen, I have the
Yeah.
urge to commit crimes. This is my character, okay?
All right, calm down. Calm down, Crimey McCrimerson. All right, you've managed to make your getaway. You've made it to the drop-off point. I imagine you're going to send Giordano a quick little, I don't know, some sort of coded transmission that you've got the gear.
Yeah, well, I'll tell her that we're on our way to the rendezvous point, and we'll give her an E ETA.
Okay.
We got
Yep.
some drinks.
And she will meet you there. It is, like I said before, it's a birthing station, not a birthing station. It's a berth similar to your own ships. It just happens to be on the other end of the starport. Nobody stops. You pull up and she's there to meet you. They let you inside the sealed area, where the ship is. It's just this boxy, not really a freighter, not really a transport. Not transport. Passenger liner. It's somewhere in between, and looks kind of dingy, just like the Millennium Falcon. But it looks nothing. To be clear, it looks nothing like the Millennium Falcon, except it looks dingy, like the Millennium Falcon. Because the Millennium Falcon would probably not fly really well in this universe. Or it would fly extremely well, depending on how you want to look at the engine design. Anyway, and she says, "Wow, any problems? Any issues getting my stuff out of here?
Well, I mean, we had to take out
Who the hell
Seven
are
guys.
you?" She literally looks at you, and she looks up at you, I should say, because she's probably like 5'4", and you're like 6'4". or 5. Yeah, she's like 5'4", 5'5".
I'm 6'6".
Yeah, you're pretty damn
I
tall.
got away with that.
But she definitely gives you like, and this when she says this, she's got a look on her face that she's like, I don't care how big, how tall, how ugly. Like she has exactly zero concern with being able to mop the floor with you. She's
Man,
got
I
like
have zero
it's either
concern for
all
her
confidence
concern.
or
I
all
have Zero
skill.
concern for her, zero concern. I was making a fucking joke. If she wants to pull her gun out on me for a joke, I mean, come on.
She's not pulling a gun. She's just giving you that look of like, who
I
are
know.
you? Because she doesn't know you. You're an extra
Well,
hand at this point. No
Well,
pun.
I'm the guy
I,
that
I,
pulled this
I,
mission off.
I pushed him away and pushed him into the truck and say, "You're gonna mess the deal up."
I'm gonna light a cigar.
That
I'm
you
gonna
might be
come
able to
back
do
out.
here. That you might actually be able to do here.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
come back out and beg the XO's forgiveness and just tell her, where it was stored, and just mention, my suspect that she may want to check the crate over before she loads it, in case there's any tracking devices or stuff like that on it. And
I'm
then
just giggling a little bit in the back, like.
I apologize for our eager young space cadets actions.
Okay, yeah, no, she looks over at the crate. She looks back over to you guys. She kind of has a rather smug smirk when she watches you drag this 6 foot something monstrosity back to the truck. But then
In hindsight, I should have got a pallet jack.
and then she takes your advice and she says, "We will definitely take a look at that." I doubt Haney would have. Excuse me. I doubt Haney would have put a tracker in there, but he did seem pretty hard up with keeping us here. Not that, not that it's worked for him.
The reason I mentioned the reason I suspected is because even though this was kind of off in a corner, there was no locks on. There's no really locks on the door, or there were simple locks. There was no lights. All the lights out were out. This just doesn't seem typical for a spaceport setup. And I kind of mentioned some background of where I came from and as law enforcement.
Giving some credence to your statements.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay.
exactly.
No, I definitely appreciate the looking out. I think we're gonna count our egg, or excuse me, we're gonna take this as the win that it otherwise appears to be. We'll check it for bugs. And she pulls out the tab or her little tablet or whatever, and shows Wyatt transferring the money from the escrow account into the ship's accounts. And then at the same time, each of the 4 of you, the 3 of you plus Eggleston, get a little notification on your individual devices or on your links or what have you, that 1,000 Libra has been transferred into your personal accounts.
Nice.
XO, you can go ahead and update the ship's account with 10 grand for helping out the
shit.
Kells rifles. And then
Could've done this
Gordano
yourself.
says to the XO, if you guys ever need Merc help or Merc work, hit me up. We'll be around. We'll be in the Chinese arm for the next year or so probably, but you never know. Our paths may cross again. And she gives you you've already got her personal contact information, of course, but she also gives you like her official business contact information in regards to the Kells rifles.
Well, we're about to head into the French arm ourselves, so But if we do come cross paths again, yeah, I wouldn't mind working again with you.
Awesome. Wyatt, you get a text from the captain. Another update question mark.
Everyone had a fantastic time. A lot of money was spent. We're all very drunk.
You see the typing dots, and then they vanish for a moment, and they come back, and he says, "Get back to the ship. We need to go."
You're welcome.
And I'll go put the truck in a secure location, and I'll tell Spielberg where I left it.
Okay.
And we'll go back to the ship.
Alrighty. So prior to getting back onto the ship, or whatever, go ahead and update XO update the ship's contact information. You now have contacts for Theodore Spielberg, the broker, and you now have contacts for the Kells Rifles, a mercenary outfit of roughly a platoon strength. Specifically, you have Natalia Giordano. I can drop all that in Discord if you need me to.
Yeah, I need spellings. I don't spell so good.
Yeah,
I'll
no
put up
worries.
I'll put
drop
up my
that here in a
cigar
minute.
as I'm going onto the ramp.
Yep. Otherwise, you guys head on back to the ship, and so now it's probably about 9 or 10 o'clock at night, give or take.
I'm going to approach my loyal soldiers,
Okay.
and I'm going to approach Carl and ask him. All right, Carl, go on. I say by the time I get back, I better be able to see you do 100 sit-ups. Let's see it.
Okay. I'm going to address that after the break.
Ah, I want to choose somebody. Come on, I know somebody fucked up somewhere.
All right. Yes, my friends, we are going to take a break. We'll come back in about 5 to 10 minutes. We'll see just how many sit-ups Spearman is able to do, and then it looks like we'll be prepping the ship for takeoff to head
I'm
on
gonna go get
out
pissed
to the
then.
next system.
I'll be
Yeah,
right
no,
back.
this is a good time to do that. So we'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes, my friends. Stick around.